Yes, thanks for taking the time to speak with us. Congratulations on the results because it's a huge increase. The first question I was really wondering was, so how much of it was an impact kind of due to lockdowns and players staying at home and online increasing?
So, it was a question that we asked ourselves in Q2 last year. And it was really an unknown answer back then. What will be the effect? We saw the boom, but then we thought that it will normalize in Q3 or maybe in Q4. But it's not only stayed, it grew from that perspective. So I believe that a lot of players that experienced the online with the different product decided to stay. So this is why I think that our products succeeded to grow also after normalization in many countries that we are working in.
Sure. So on that basis, do you see, well, I think you've kind of answered this, but do you see on a global scale growth eventually slowing down once, we get back to kind of a normal world, or kind of, I guess from your previous answer, you think normalization actually, it won't slow?
I think that it won't slow because there are two factors that are now accelerating as we see it in Aspire. Because as you know, we have several products that we are offering to other operators. So one thing that we see is that the land-based are going online in a much faster way than before. And this is something if before they thought about going online, now they see that they have no other way than doing so. And the second reason is that it's like a kid. When you bring a kid something tasty that he likes, he doesn't want to get rid of it. So the same as players, when they experience better products online, fast, better return to player in the product, you enjoy more from the same $10 that is spent in offline, so it will probably remain online. So those two reasons, I believe, will make the online grow even faster than before.
Mm-hmm. And you see it as it's a kind of permanent shift now, I guess.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, sure. Obviously, the acquisition of BTO. Actually, how do you pronounce BTO Bet or B2Bet? I'm not sure exactly.
BTO Bet, yes.
BTO Bet, yeah, that's what I thought. Obviously, that formed a big part of your report. How would you summarize the progress of kind of of merging the companies, the synergies you've experienced so far?
So we see here a benefit from two aspects. One is taking the great product of B2Bet to be under the Aspire ecosystem. So we see it's great that now the operators that are already on our platform, we're going to shift them to B2Bet. So it will create synergies and also more growth to B2Bet and Aspire. And from the second perspective, which is not less important, is the fact that Aspire was is still very strong, known brand in Europe, and B2Bet was less known in Europe. So with the push of Aspire behind, we believe that there is a great opportunity in Europe for B2Bet to win a lot of sport deals that before we were not able to compete. So those are the two reasons that we see great future for B2Bet.
Sure. And what percentage of the business does BTO Bet kind of account for now, and will that percentage grow long term?
Yes, right now it's around 5%. And we believe that with the shift of our current operators portfolio, with additional plans that we have for B2Bet, it will be much higher in the medium and long term.
Mm-hmm. Sure. A few questions left. Obviously, US was a big part of your report, and it's a big part of sort of any gaming company's report at the moment. You probably struggle to find a company that isn't looking at the US. But how would you rate your progress in the US, given that there's heavy competition in states like New Jersey?
So we see it in a few perspectives. One, there aren't a lot of companies like Aspire that can sell more than one product. If you will take Evolution, they can sell live dealer and slots. If you will take Cambi, they can sell only sport. If you will take any other, so they will be able to offer maybe 1-2 products. Aspire have the ability to offer more than one product. It's gaming platform, sport, games, aggregation, and managed services. So we really have, for each one of them, a really long perspective in the US. And more than that, we believe that the tier one operators in the US will own eventually their own technology. So we are not intending to approach aggressively the tier one, but to the tier 2, 3, and 4 in order to make a long-term relationship with them.
Actually, that's an interesting point. If it's okay, I'd like to ask you about that one. Tier one operators owning their own technology, because not necessarily tier one, but this week we've seen Penn launch Penn Game Studios and Leo Vegas launch their own studios. Do you think generally that's a trend we're seeing more operators sort of, I guess, I'm not sure if it's the right term, but becoming suppliers?
I don't know if they will become a supplier, because there is a long journey to do from a B2C operator to become a B2B supplier. There is a long way. But I believe that the operators, their main idea by owning some of the technology is that they will be able to save a lot of the costs that they are paying to third party. So I think this is their main agenda by trying to own some. But what Leo Vegas did is not new. Also, Betson are doing it, and also Unibet and others are doing it already. In the US, I'm talking mainly about owning the gaming platform and sport. And this is something that we see with DraftKings acquiring SBTech. We see 888 acquiring BetBright. We see more and more companies acquiring. So we don't want to have a relationship with tier one and to think, okay, tomorrow he will move to his own. So we think that our strategy will win at the end.
Absolutely, that makes sense. And obviously, with the US forming, such a big market, or several markets at the moment, how much of your future revenue do you see coming from the US? Do you think it could end up taking the majority share of the business?
What's nice in Aspire is that around more than 90% of our income comes from Europe. And now with B2Bet and the many possibilities that we have, we opened up Africa, Latin America, and the US. So I believe that those three will be the main contributor, and the US will lead the growth in the coming 3, 4, 5 years for sure. But let's not forget Latin America. It's a huge continent that we already have Betfair over there, and we have William Hill, and we also signed Grupo Televisa, the biggest media house in Mexico. So we think that also this market have big growth opportunities.
Apologies, that's our office hand dryer. I'm in the office today, but I could hear everything you said, so apologies if it distracted you. I've only really got one more planned question, and that is, because we've talked about the medium and long term, what are your kind of immediate goals or targets for Q2?
We cannot, as a public company, we are not able to guide the revenues, but if I'm talking about achievements, so in Q2, we want to roll out more of the operators that we signed and are pending to go live. This is one achievement, to have more operators live. And second, one of the most important goals that we have for this year is to go live with our own sports solution, with our own operators. And those are the two main things that we are addressing in Q2.
Well, as I say, that's all the planned questions I have. Is there anything else any messages you'd like to get across, or anything else you think maybe I haven't covered? If so, it's your chance now. The floor is yours.
No, I think you asked, the questions that it is important for me that the audience will hear. And I hope that everybody understands that they can take the Aspire products anywhere in the world.